If you felt like your search rankings went completely off the rails at the end of 2025, you are definitely not imagining things. A massive Google update just shook the entire digital world. In this explainer, we're going to break down what happened, why it happened, and what the new rules of the game are for winning at search.
Let's start with a feeling I'm pretty sure a lot of you know all too well. You open up your analytics, and that traffic chart, it looks like it just fell off a cliff. One day, everything's fine. The next, poof, you vanished. This wasn't just a bad week. For so many people, this is the new normal.
Well, that chaos has a name. The December 2025 Google Core Update. This wasn't just some minor tweak. It was the third major shakeup of the year, and it was by far the most volatile. If your metrics have been all over the place, this is why.
So let's really dig in here. Just how big was this digital earthquake? Let's look at the impact.
The rollout followed a familiar pattern, but man, the intensity was on another level. It all kicked off with the announcement on December 11th. Things seemed kind of moderate at first, but then, boom, December 20th hit. SEO tracking tools just lit up like a Christmas tree with these massive spikes, showing a huge wave of changes that just kept rolling through the end of the month.
And if you want to talk about impact, just look at this number, -85%. Some site owners reported traffic drops that huge. We're not talking about a minor dip here. For some, it was a catastrophic collapse that basically wiped out their business overnight. It was brutal.
And as the dust started to settle, a really interesting pattern started to show up. It looked like sites that were heavy on AI-generated content and some of the bigger financial sites actually saw some gains. And the biggest losers? Yeah, a lot of small, niche websites that watched their traffic and their rankings just absolutely plummet.
So, with this being the new reality, how are small businesses supposed to adapt? Well, the response has been a massive shift in strategy, something we're calling the Great Diversification.
Check this out. A recent survey of over 300 small businesses shows a pretty dramatic change of heart. For the very first time, more businesses, we're talking 64%, are citing social media as a main traffic source over SEO. The old reliance on Google is officially starting to crack.
And this quote from that same survey just sums up the mood perfectly. It's not about totally abandoning SEO, it's about acknowledging that putting all your eggs in one basket, it's just not a viable strategy anymore. Businesses are accepting the new reality, and they're branching out.
And this whole situation leads to this really weird paradox. You've got an overwhelming 94% of businesses with websites saying they are absolutely crucial for growth. And yet, almost a third of the businesses in the survey don't even have one. They're just relying on social media and directories. It shows a real disconnect in the market right now.
Okay, so amidst all this chaos, what does Google actually want from us? Well, at a recent event, they were surprisingly direct about it. Focus on the users, not on trying to find some clever hack.
So here's the main message from Google, and it's a big one. Stop chasing ghosts. A lot of SEOs got spun up thinking they needed a whole new strategy called GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization, just for AI. Google's response was basically, that's not a thing. You're still just optimizing for their core ranking systems. The fundamentals haven't really changed.
So let's break that down, right? What Google wants you to focus on is the big picture, their core systems, providing real value to your users and building a strong brand that gets traffic from lots of different places. What they don't want is for you to get totally lost in the weeds, obsessing over some imaginary AI-specific tactics or chasing every new trend that pops up.
And hey, for all you tech-minded folks out there, they did drop some specific nuggets of advice. Structured data, the stuff that helps Google understand your products, is more critical than ever for shopping. But here's a big warning. Don't use client-side JavaScript to implement it, because Google often can't see it. And those new LLM TXT files everyone was talking about, Google says they don't matter much. The data you really need is already sitting in your Search Console.
But, this whole update isn't happening in a bubble. It's actually one piece of a much, much bigger fight that's being fought over the future of content on the web. It's Google versus the scrapers.
And this whole conflict is centered around web scraping. So what is it? Put simply, it's the automated theft of content. We're talking about bots that systematically copy everything from a website, often ignoring the rules that site owners put up, like robots.txt files that tell them to stay out.
And this battle, it's not happening behind the scenes anymore. It just went very public. Google has filed a major lawsuit against a company called SERP API. They're accusing them of illegally scraping copyrighted content right from the search results, content that Google often pays to license from creators, and then turning around and reselling it for their own profit.
And according to the lawsuit, the methods they're using are seriously deceptive. We're talking about cloaking their identity, using these huge networks of bots to avoid getting caught, and deliberately bypassing the protections that site owners put in place. This isn't just about Google. It's about respecting the rights of every single person creating content online.
Okay, so you've got these insane updates on one side and this all-out war over content on the other. What in the world is your strategy supposed to be for 2026? How do you build a brand that's actually resilient enough to survive all this?
All right, if you take away only one thing from this whole explainer, please let it be this. You have to stop thinking of search as this one single channel you can just win. It is now a complex, interconnected ecosystem where algorithms, AI, social media, and even legal battles are all smashing into each other.
Your playbook for this new world is all about going back to the fundamentals. Step 1. Create genuinely valuable, high-quality content that actually serves your audience. That is your bedrock. Step 2. Actively diversify where your traffic comes from. Do not be 100% dependent on Google or any other single platform. And finally, Step 3. Stay informed and be ready to adapt, because this landscape is going to keep changing.
So, we'll leave you with one final question to think about. Is your current strategy built for a complex ecosystem, or are you still just trying to please a single, unpredictable algorithm? Because honestly, the answer to that question is going to define whether you sink or swim from here on out.